Hey everyone, welcome to Redmen TV. Steve here with my match reaction. Liverpool beat Nottingham Forest 1-0 at the City Ground with a late goal. It's not the first time we've said that in recent years. Obviously Darwin Núñez a few years ago, and this time it's Alexis McAllister. And listen, sometimes this year Arne Slot has said Liverpool haven't got what they deserve from a game. He thought maybe they deserve to draw and they've lost, or maybe they deserve to get a point and they've lost, or whatever, or deserve to win and they've ended up drawing. I think today Liverpool didn't deserve to win the game. Let's not beat around the bush here. Liverpool did not play well, basically, in terms of an attacking sense at all. Defensively, did okay. I thought the two centre-halves did well, but in an attacking sense and in a midfield sense, miles off it. But yeah, sometimes, like I say, football's weird. And sometimes you just get one that you don't really deserve. We've seen that happen numerous times with this football club. Quite often under Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool would snatch games right at the death, very late on, again, including at this stadium. This year, it's been the other way around. Liverpool have been losing games at the death. You know, imagine if you stopped the table after, like, when it got to 90 minutes or the games, the table would look a lot different. Liverpool would have lost more, they would have won more, etc. Because it feels like every game is going right down to the wire, and it's one way or the other. Start of the season, it was going our way. Then it really, really wasn't, and today again it does. So I don't know, the analysis on that shouldn't be forgotten. Really, Liverpool did not play well. But I suppose you've got to give some credit in the fact that they keep going, they work hard, they never give up, even into the 90-odd minute. They think they've won the game with a bit of a fluke moments earlier, haven't, and then they go and defend the corner kick. And I was thinking, you know, when the initial goal gets ruled out for handball, which I think it was, the rule's stupid, but as the rule's written, that is a handball. For it to be there, to then go and concede the corner there, crowd were up, and I was thinking, oh no. Like, I've seen this story too often before. It's a set piece and Liverpool are going to concede from it. And they don't. They defend again. They defend quite well. Which, again, I go back to it. They kind of did all game and then go up to the other end of the pitch. I was fuming when they didn't put the long throw into the box, and then eventually it works out. And yeah, I thought it was offside. I thought Van Dijk was offside. Didn't see Oliena behind him with his boot on side. It was hugely controversial, perhaps, or I don't know, just all over the place, really, wasn't it, in terms of the moment that wins the game. But thankfully, Alexis is there to get his winner. Maybe it was destined, he was meant to happen, because he was meant to get the one before it got ruled out, and he gets that one. In terms of, obviously, let's do a few positives, Liverpool, and stuff like that. I thought the two centre-backs were magnificent. Me and Jamie on the watch-along give Virgil the Man of the Match award, only just because he was involved in the goal. Because even Konate, I thought, actually defended pretty well, and if he hadn't, Liverpool could easily have gotten beat there. I thought he dealt with the ball in the air pretty well. They, for the most part, did well in terms of stopping attacks. There was a couple of loose moments early on with the ball, but other than that, they stood up, and that's what you need sometimes. If your attackers and your midfielders are having one and they keep giving the opposition the ball and they keep being sloppy and poor, can someone stand up at the back and just keep the door closed? Alisson did it early on with the save from Hudson-Odoi, and then after that, Liverpool really did pretty much keep them at bay. They were all over us for us in terms of shots and stuff, but nothing really too taxing or troubling for us. And then second half, Liverpool kind of get themselves more in the game, because they couldn't have been worse, really. And then eventually they end up with a little bit of luck. Brilliant. So fair play to the two centre backs. Negatives, to be honest with you, most of it was pretty negative. I thought Gravenberch, and actually I know McAllister wins the game, I thought they were really poor in midfield. I thought Salah was poor pretty much all game. I thought Ekitike was poor pretty much all game. I know Gakpo gets taken off. I thought he was best of the front three, but that wasn't a high bar, and he wasn't exactly brilliant either. And there was no real surprise that the manager just tried to ring the changes a little bit. So yeah, Liverpool's midfield and attack wasn't great at all. Obviously, losing Wirtz in the warm-up is something you can't really quantify or really, you know, it's so late to do anything about. And that's obviously a blow. You know, Wirtz is meant to be the man who gets this Liverpool side ticking. And when he goes out, Curtis comes in. Curtis, even very early on, gets caught on the ball a couple of times. He ends up right back to get Liverpool a bit more energy into the game. So it was all messy. And a lot of people were having to go with the manager, actually. I actually thought the players more than the manager were the issue in the first half. Like, he picked a team not that dissimilar really than most people would have picked. Maybe you can argue or quibble with one or two of those selection issues, and maybe I understand. But like players not being able to play 5-yard passes, not being able to just keep the ball, it was really rubbish. It was as bad as I think our midfields looked for quite a long time. I don't know what's up with Verts, by the way, at time recording. I don't know. Hopefully it's not a major, and Liverpool aren't without him for too long, because they certainly wouldn't need him. But yeah, again, poor, really poor. I don't think it was a good. The midfield three and the front three really pretty average. Sobbo did a bit better when he went into midfield, but he was hardly brilliant either. You know, he was just a little bit better, but yeah, overall not good from all the starting six midfielders and the front three rather, so 3 and 3. More positives. I thought, listen, I know it's, if you can't beat them, join them. And Liverpool got Joe Gomez on, and that long throw is a weapon, and it caused a few issues. Again, I was nearly pulling my head out if I had any. I haven't, thankfully, to pull out. But if it is, when he didn't take the long throw in at the end, but I thought that was a real weapon. I thought he actually played quite well, especially defensively, getting up and down the wing. And then, I'm trying to think the best way to... Rio, let's talk about Rio. You saw what he can offer, and sometimes maybe the reasons why he's not playing, but also the reasons why absolutely he is this bright spark who can do bits. So there were a couple of times when he was a little bit too adventurous, or maybe just a little bit too daring in his own half, that Liverpool probably didn't need at that stage of the game. But then also on the flip side, you get the moments where he gets on the ball and he has a little go at someone, or he'll try a little dribble, or he'll try and get to the byline and get a cross in. He did that a few times where he looked like he had a little bit of oomph to him. Is he ready to start games? Potentially. I've been thinking probably not for a while, but yeah, maybe it is time. Maybe I was wrong, because he certainly made a difference. I saw Jamie Carragher on the TV coverage, say Rio did more than 10 minutes than Salah and Gakpo did most of the game. It's hard to argue. He did. Now, to be fair, at that stage, Liverpool were a bit more in the game than they were first half, but fair play to Rio. He is very, very fearless. He'll always try something. He'll go for the run, he'll go for the step over. And in their half, that's absolutely fine. Again, you don't want to be doing it too much in your own half, I think it's fair to say. But in their final third in particular, go and express yourself. And he really did cause problems. So fair play to Rio Ngamoa. Like I say, he made a difference there when he come on. Because we were screaming, people were like, change something. And I was looking at the bench going, what do you really do? Like, I thought changing the fullbacks, okay, sound. Actually, that ends up working because you got Gomez's long throws in, which made a difference. Robbo makes a key block as well, but that just felt like a change for change's sake, if I'm honest. And then he brings Chiesa and Rio on. It was almost like a wing and a prayer from Arne Slot. And yeah, Chiesa didn't do a lot, but Rio definitely added a little bit of impetus. So fair play to Rio and Gamo for that one. But yeah, again, the overall reaction is Liverpool didn't play well in an attacking sense or in midfield. They defended pretty well for the most part, especially second half. First half, Forest were knocking on the door a lot. And I say Alisson needs to make a save, but from then on, it felt like Forest were there or thereabouts, but they weren't really able to create sort of massive opportunities. And then second half, Liverpool kind of grew into it without really posing a threat. And then, so, yeah, there's a value to just staying in the game sometimes. And you might get a little bit of something or a bit of good fortune. And like I say, credit to Alexis McAllister, being in the right place at the right time. He put away the disappointment of the handball to score the winner. And yeah, listen, my voice is going there, so apologies. It's been a long watch long. Yeah, the top five races are hard and boring because usually your team isn't that good and anyone can beat you and you can lose to anyone, that kind of thing. And that's where we're at now. Liverpool, listen, in the Premier League anyway, aren't gonna all of a sudden, I don't think, just click into gear and steamroll everybody. I just don't think we're there yet for a number of different reasons. What they just need to make sure they do is get in the top five. And it might mean playing crap sometimes and winning. And just pick one out. Because, yeah, we again, that's just, they did the nature of these races. We all think back to Alisson's header. You know, things like that. Sometimes you just need you just need to win. And ultimately, Liverpool found a way to win. And that's the only real... Again, thing that you can take away from this game. Chelsea slipped up. Aston Villa, I don't know where maybe they're part of the race, maybe. I don't know. 6 points gap to them, maybe. We'll see what happens to Manchester United against Everton. But Liverpool capitalised with the result. Didn't capitalise with the performance, but capitalised with the result. But it was a scruffy game. Plenty of improvements needed. But yeah, what can you do? What can you do? Just win and then we'll move on and let's pretend all that never happened and we'll just remember Alexis's late winner. Like we remember Darwin's late winner all those years ago at the same ground. No one remembers anything else about that game really. Remember the late winner, and that's what we'll remember this game for. Yeah, that is it from me. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know, comment section, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there aren't that many more games to go, and Liverpool have given themselves more than a fighting chance of qualifying for the Champions League. And at this stage, in the league at least, that is probably about as good as we're going to get. See you all next time.